Voting's been taking place in the United States on the main day for deciding who will face off in November's presidential election. Even before the counting begins later tonight, there are no prizes for guessing that it will be Biden versus Trump after voting across 15 states and 1 US territory. Super Tuesday, as it's known over there. It's the rematch that few voters want, and yet from coast to coast, they are actually voting for it by default.
Former President Trump hoping for a clean sweep on Super Tuesday, which...
In the biggest state to hold primaries for both parties, Super Tuesday will confirm what many Texans already know. America is inexorably heading to a rematch. And this morning, some voters in Austin didn't appear too pleased about that prospect.
How do you feel about the choice that's inevitably going to face voters?
I don't like it. I'm sorry. They don't speak well, they slip over their words, they use the wrong names for people. It's pretty embarrassing, really, that this is what we're left with.
The only challenger to Donald Trump appeared in the east of the state with a defiant message.
We can do better than two 80-year-old candidates for president.
But that is exactly what's facing voters. Joe Biden would be 86 by the end of a second term. Donald Trump would be 83.
This Super Tuesday is unlike any recent one. Both Joe Biden and Donald Trump enjoy a sense of incumbency. Both have sat in the Oval Office, both have a record to run on. There won't be any surprises today, but this will be a significant step towards the final matchup between the 45th and 46th presidents.
For Trump loyalists like Texas rancher Christina Adams, the economy is a key issue. She says the cost of everything has soared, from horseshoes to cattle feed.
I can say that we're definitely Trump supporters all the way, and for good reason. This last administration has really affected our business and our family really negatively, and honestly our country.
Cynics might say shaping a political message is like shaping a Stetson. It requires a lot of hot air and a deft touch. But both Biden and Trump are struggling to motivate young voters.
It's hard. They're different, but they're the same in a lot of ways.
They're old.
Yeah, they're old, but it's just it's a different way of thinking, you know.
At a cafe near the University of Texas, even the young Republicans who oppose Trump think Nikki Haley is a lost cause.
She should step aside and let the party unify around Trump as the general election candidate.
I was open to an alternative at the very start of this race, but once the alternatives I had been considering had dropped out, I accepted the reality of the fact that Donald Trump was going to be the nominee.
If he was convicted, would that put you off?
If he was convicted, yes, but he hasn't been, and I don't think he will. They've been trying and they haven't been able to catch him yet.
By tomorrow, we'll know Trump and Biden's margins of victory in Texas and the other states. But America is heading to a historic electoral replay, the likes of which haven't been seen since the West was wild.
Dan's in Austin still for us tonight. So the race for nominations effectively over then, pretty much, Dan?
It kind of is really, Julie. Yeah, I mean, the polls on the East Coast close in less than 2 hours. Look, Joe Biden is basically running unopposed. The only distant threat he's had is from a congressman from Minnesota, Dean Phillips, who hasn't even won any delegates. And look, Donald Trump is way ahead in the polls in places like Texas and the other 15 states voting today. I mean, he might get 80% of the vote here in Texas. The only real question then is whether and when Nikki Haley, his rival, will be forced to drop out. Donald Trump's camp are hoping they can deal a decisive blow today. If you look at the numbers, I mean, Donald Trump's got, 247 delegates. Nikki Haley only has 43, and there are 865 up for grabs. They need to get over the line with 12-15. So potentially Donald Trump could get very close to that margin. He won't get over the line until March the 12th at the earliest, but the big picture here, Julie, is the continuing stranglehold he has on the Republican Party. His America First isolationist agenda dominates, and he is crushing any kind of dissent. And when you think what he's been through in the last year, he's facing 4 criminal trials. He's been found liable for sexual assault. He's been found liable for fraud and fined hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, he regularly tells lies to his followers. He makes racist comments. Despite all of that, his support base is solid.
OK, Dan, thank you very much indeed for that. Thank you.